Starting from San Francisco, here I go again, crossing the country in coach trains, back to my old lone wandering, all night eastward, upward, over the Great Divide, and on into Utah, over Great Salt Plain, and onward, rocking. The white dawn burst across mesas, tablelands, all flat, all laid away. Great glary sun, wood bridge over water. Later, in still light, we still reel onward, onward, back and forth, across the continent, bang, bang, by any wheel or horse, any rail, by car, by buggy, by stagecoach, walking, riding, hoofs pounding the great plains, caravans into the night, forever, into Wyoming. All that day and night, rocking through it, snow on steppes and plains of November, roads lost in it or never existent. Back in the beginning again, no people yet, no ruts westward yet, under the snow, still more huge spaces we bowl through, still untouched dark land, indomitable, horizons of mesas, like plains of Spain high up in Don Quixote country, sharp eroded towers of bluffs like windmills tilted, Los Molinos of earth abandoned. Great long rectangular stone islands sticking up on far plains like forts or immense light cargo ships high on plains of water, becalmed and rudderless, props thrashing wheat, stranded forever, no one on those bridges. Later again, much later, one small half-assed town, followed by one telephone wire and one straight single iron road hung to the tracks as by magnets, attached to a single endless fence, past solitary pumping stations, each with a tank, a car, a small house, a dog. No people anywhere, all hiding. White man gone home? Must be a cowboy someplace. Birds flap from fences, trestles, caw and caw their nothingness. Stone church sticks up, quote, out of nowhere, unquote. This must be interzone between heaven and Brooklyn. Do they have a classified section as in phone books in the back of the Bibles here? Otherwise they'd never find anything. Try instant Zen. Still later again, sunset and strange clouds like udders rayed with light from below, some god's hand stuck through. Black trees stand out. The world is a winter farm. Cradle we rocked out of. Prairie schooners into Pullmans, their bright saloons sheeted in oblivion. Wagon-lit bed wagons over the prairies, bodies nested in them, hurtled through night inscrutable. Onward still, or backward, huge snowfields still, on and on and on, still no one. Indians all gone to Florida or Cuba. Train hoots at something in the nowhere we still rock through. Ding ding crossroads flicker by, mining towns once roaring now shrunk to the railhead, street lights stoned with loneliness or lit with leftover sun they drank too much of during the day. And at long last, now, this world shrunk to one lone brakeman's face stuck out of darkness, long white forehead like bleached skull of cow, huge black sad eyes, high-peaked cloth cap, gray-striped, swings his railroad lantern high, close up as our window whizzes by, his figure splashed upon it, slanted, musin-like, very grave, very tall, strange skeleton. Who stole America? Myself I saw in the window reflected. New York, Albany. God, I had forgotten how the Hudson burns in Indian autumn. Saugerties, Coxsackie fall away through all those trees. The leaves die turning, falling, fallen, falling into loam of dark, yellow into death, disappearing, falling, fallen, falling. God, God, those pestilence-stricken multitudes, rushed into the streets, blown, all blasted. They are hurting them with wood rakes. They are raking them in great hills. They are burning them. Lord, Lord, the leaves curl, burning. The curled smoke gives up to eternity. Never, never the same leaf turn again. The same leaves burn. Lord, Lord, in a red field, a white stallion stands and pees his oblivion upon those leaves, washing my bus window, only now blacked out by a covered bridge we flash through only once, no round-trip ticket. Lord, Lord, never returning, the youth years fallen away back then, under the linden trees in Boston Common. Lord, Lord, trees think through these woods of years. They flame forever with those thoughts. Lord, Lord, I did not see eternity the other night, but now in burning, turning day, Lord, Lord, every bush burns, love licks all down, all gone in the red end. Lord, 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 small nuts fall. I too.
Overpopulation. I must have misunderstood something in this story. There must be a misprint in this paper. Hats off, it says here. The final war is over again. Here they come again, parading by the cafe terrace. I stand on my chair to see. I still can't see the brave, burned hero's face. I stand on the table, waving my only hat with the hole in it. I throw the hole away into the street after the black limousine. I don't throw my newspaper. I sit down with my paper, which has the explanation of everything, except there's a hole in it, something missing in the story where the hole is, or I must have misunderstood something. The nations have decided, it says here, to abolish themselves at last. It's been decided at the highest level and at the lowest level to return to a primitive society. For science has conquered nature, but nature must not be conquered. So science must be abolished, and machines must go after all their turning and turning. The automobile is a passing thing. After all, the horse is here to stay. Population has reached its limit. There's standing room only, nowhere to lie down anymore. Medical science must be abolished so people can die when they're supposed to. There's still room under the surface. I keep hoping I have misunderstood something in this story. People still lose and find themselves in bed, and animals still aren't as cruel as people because they can't talk. But we weren't designed to live forever and ever, and design is everything. The little enzyme they've discovered that prevents aging and causes conception must be lost in the body again. All must be begun over in a new pastoral era. There have been too many advances. Life can't bear it any longer. Life is not a drug made from mushrooms eaten by Samoyeds in Siberia, which fully retain their intoxicating properties when transmitted in urine, so that an endless line of men may get drunk over and over on the same mushroom. A chain reaction of avid statues with mouths at penises. I must have misunderstood something in this story. Life is intoxicating, but can't go on and on, putting on more and more complicated clothes, hats, girdles, garter belts, uplift bras, lifting higher and higher, until they fly away, and breasts fall after all. We've got to get naked again, it says here, though fornication's still illegal in certain states. I must have misunderstood something in this story. The world's no Claymobile, and there must be an end to all this rotation around the goofball sun. The sun, in its sick transit, barely clears the rooftops now, bumps over a Mobile gas Pegasus, and sinks behind my paper with its hole, in which I keep hoping I've misunderstood something, for death is not the answer to our problem. There must be some mistake. There is. The editorials say we must do something, and we cannot do anything, for something's missing where the hole is. Sitting on the terrace of this fancy coffee house on the left side of the world, where I must have misunderstood something, as a purple blonde sweeps by and one too high tit pops out and falls in my plate, I return it to her without looking too embarrassed, which she takes as a good sign. She sits down and gives me the other, wrapped in silk. I go on reading my paper, thinking I must have misunderstood something, trying to look like it's all happened before. It has. It's a clay-mobile with something missing. I look under the table and see our legs are intertwined, our two chairs fuse, our arms are round each other. She's facing me, crouched in my lap, her legs are around me. My white snake has entered her, speaks of love inside of her. She moans to hear it, but something's missing. Sex without love wears gay deceivers. I still have one of her breasts in my hand. The waiter comes running, picks up my fallen paper, hoping he's misunderstood something. None of us will ever die as long as this goes on. The enzyme bottle lies open on the table.